That's all you need to know. Just 2 paragraphs. Very effective communication. I can't stand discourtesy, even when it comes from myself. Because I can't bear to see idiots. Of course, they wouldn't want to see me either.
You probably know the gist of things already. A few system hours ago, one of Madame Herta's puppets was attacked by an unknown perpetrator. We don't know the location of the puppet, and we can't pinpoint its signal. No. The attack happened on a base outside the station, beyond the surveillance camera's range. She's away on a visit. This issue didn't seem to trouble her much.
Excuse me, you. Tell me, what were you doing the last time you saw that puppet?
Huh? Well, invite me next time.
Don't play the fool. Think.
I think I was.
If that's the narrative you're sticking to, then indulge me. Who, pray tell, can substantiate this captivating drama?
Apologies. Herta did not mention this to me.
A second-hand account. She wasn't at the scene. Hearsay hardly counts as compelling evidence, now does it?
Affirmation. We can ask Herta herself.
A portrait of internal turmoil. You look troubled. Do you need help? Do try to think for yourself. Please, begin your statement, and try to think before you speak. Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you for an assignment.
If you knew Herta, then you wouldn't find it weird.
Don't interrupt other people. Did no one teach you manners? And the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even have a name.
Herta didn't mention the name of the curio. We were talking about something else, and she just mentioned it in passing. However, she did give a thorough description of the curio. I didn't make that up.
True. You wouldn't be able to make that up.
Why do I feel like I'm being looked down on?
Herta's collection. An endless trove of trinkets and baubles. And yet, she singles out one nameless ordinary curio? It's hard for me to imagine she would treasure one curio so much.
Sure, but you're the one saying the curio in question is ordinary.
Say what you want to say.
A correct observation, if I may add. I doubt Herta is interested in the curio itself.
I remember now. Back then.
That's enough pretending. Please be quiet.
Curio isn't the point. Herta was only addressing it because of its relation to the Genius Society.
I would imagine the curio is the creation of a genius. Affirmation. It holds some special meaning to Herta.
Yes. That seems logically sound. Then you said you asked Asta for help with the lost curio.
Yes, to get more information about the curio. I didn't get a direct answer, but Asta recommended I seek out a researcher who could help.
However, she decided to hold her tongue until now?
Mr. Ratio, it's because...
I'm asking him, Lady Asta. Your testimony went out the window the second you started being secretive. So what's the story? Are you full of fanciful fiction? Or is Asta the one hoarding secrets like they're going out of style?
Asta isn't trying to hide anything. It's because of her position. some things shouldn't be said in the open.
What could be more important than Herta's safety?
I agreed for Mr. Ratio to become involved in this. I should consider him one of us. It's okay. You can tell him.
Conjecture. Asta chose to stay silent.
I remember now. Back then.
That's enough pretending. Please be quiet.
Base Station has been very distrustful of its higher management, ever since the Antimatter Legion's invasion. Another severe incident would further intensify suspicion, and cause great internal strife.
Oh. So that explains why Lady Asta approved of my participation. After all, the Intelligentsia Guild's representative wouldn't be linked to the space station, but would still share the IPC's position. They wouldn't be partial to anyone, but would still act for the space station's benefit. Two birds with one stone. Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the responsibility of sorting out that mess has been thrust upon Arlen, head of the security department.
Yes. I ran into Arlen when looking for Adler.
Adler?
A level 2 researcher. According to the Department of Ecology head, he knows more about curios than anyone else. He happened to be helping Arlen investigate the disappearances.
Well, did he enlighten you?
Adler seemed to have an idea at the time, but he never contacted me again.
Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked.
No connection? I disagree. There should be evidence linking them together. If I review a certain record...
Cut the act. You're perfectly aware of the point I'm making.
Doubt me all you like. I'm just an outsider who got unexpectedly dragged into this mess. You and I are no different. We both stumbled into this, but you decided to assume the role of interrogator.
Oh? Your point being?
Correction. There may be a correlation.
I remember now. Back then.
That's enough pretending. Please be quiet.
No. If I recall correctly, Asta said, one of Madame Herta's puppets was attacked by an unknown perpetrator. We don't know the location of the puppet, and we can't pinpoint its signal. Don't know the location. Isn't that the same as missing?
She did say that, but then what? You need to provide evidence to show incidents are linked.
There should be evidence. Arlen discovered something odd when he was investigating the disappearances. The space station's automatic fire suppression system was momentarily activated around the time the disappearances happened. Arlen mentioned that each victim disappeared due to spontaneous combustion.
Huh. But there are no signs of a fire anywhere in the space station.
That's what's so odd about it. But this information has an additional layer of importance. This may not be direct evidence, but if the system also recorded the fire suppression system activating when the puppet was attacked, then there's ample evidence to indicate that these two cases are linked.
Please, begin your statement, and try to think before you speak. First, Adler's disappearance. He must have come across some vital information.
Adler also.
You think that Adler's discovery drew the enemy's attention?
Indeed, and I already know what he found. The next angle is what the victims have in common, distasteful as that discussion may be.
Distasteful discussion.
A mere glance at their background would indicate they share no commonalities. However, after browsing through their online records, you discovered they all wield influence on the space station's dark web. Lady Asta must know what this means. Last is the abilities of Duke Inferno and the secret of spontaneous human combustion. You probably already know about this. The fire demon of Fatora, the Duke of the Annihilation Gang. There is another secret with Ifrit.
The link between the three is...
Understand. So the answer is...
Tenuous connections. Enough of this nonsense. During prior unrest, instigated by the Everflame Mansion, some testified to seeing miscreants materialize from the Inferno. The flickering tongues of Duke Inferno's fire carrying a certain property, and this property is the secret behind spontaneous human combustion. Look, the answer is right there. This booklet describes a kind of fire that can phase through dimensions, claiming it burns through worlds, leaving numerous scions of flame behind.
It's the phase flame, the creation of member number 29, Serkal. She was an amazing genius. Intelligent, kind, and humble. However, she lived for a mere 29 days on the human calendar. Such a pity. The phase flame shifted into a different phase as soon as it was created. When it returned to this phase, Serkal had already passed away. It then continued to shift through phases, making its capture impossible.
The kindling of this unique flame must be the missing curio that Herta's been searching for, and Duke Inferno is evidently spawned from it.
Somebody was once able to glimpse the traces of the phase flame and obtained a wisp of its kindling. Herta kept it and lent it to Ruan for her research, but the kindling was lost in the process. If Ifrit is a scion of the phase flame, then the entire incident is now clear as day.
I fear that this is the truth Adler discovered. Undoubtedly, the curio Herta asked to find was the phase flame. And Adler already discovered the relationship between spontaneous human combustion and the phase flame through the concept of energy life forms.
Understand. So the answer is...
Tenuous connections. Enough of this nonsense. When Schurling said, Adler kept muttering about a phrase before he disappeared. I believe this word was actually phase. He saw member 29 Serkal's research topic in this booklet and verified his hypothesis. As a scion of the phase flame, Duke Inferno would naturally share similar capabilities. Full-on phase shifting may be a bit too ambitious for him, but teleportation, that's likely more his speed. That is the truth of the spontaneous human combustion. The researchers didn't disappear. They were moved.